Boom. Alright, what's up you guys? It's Royce Jacob. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I want to talk to you about my current thoughts around Bitcoin and Bitcoin miners. As you all know, we just had a pretty choppy week. 'Tis the season, you guys. The volatility is here. And although we closed out the trading week with a nice move to the upside, I'm still not personally convinced that the move up we saw wasn't just a short-term bounce. I am still a little concerned about the price action when it comes to the short term. But is it possible that we see a reversal? Is it possible that we continue the overall uptrend and bull market of 2021? 100%. This is crypto, you guys. Anything can happen. But of course, as we dive into the charts, I will explain to you my concerns around the short term, okay? So let's get into it, you guys. As always, we'll quickly go over a few of the names we'll be diving into, and then we'll get in there. First off, Bitcoin. Got to kick it off with the king if we are talking the king miner. So we'll kick it off with Bitcoin. After that, we will be covering three miners, the first of which is going to be the OG, Riot Blockchain. We will then move on to Miss Mara and then close it out with BitFarms, okay? So keeping it short and sweet today, you guys. Of course, the price action amongst these miners as we head into the new trading week will be heavily dependent upon how Bitcoin performs over the course of this weekend. We will catch up on Bitcoin in the Sunday stock watch, of course, but kind of just want to reflect on the week we just had. Again, you guys, it was a rough week. It was a pretty bloody week. It was a roller coaster to most accurately describe it. Just a roller coaster of a week, and not only in the Bitcoin and crypto equity sector, but in a lot of hypergrowth sectors of the equity markets as well. Okay, so to kick off the video before diving into the charts, I want to read through the intro actually to yesterday's newsletter, okay? Because this is when we saw a lot of pullbacks across many of the sectors that we talk about here a lot on the channel. And this isn't talking specifically about the stocks, but this is more covering the first principles and kind of some of my psychology when dealing with days like we did on Thursday when the entire market was just bleeding out, okay? So I'll read through this. Also want to say right off the bat, you guys, I will be gone for Thanksgiving from this Sunday to the following Sunday. So I'll be gone for 7 days. I'll do my best to record videos up there. The Wi-Fi situation is a little shoddy, but it is my obligation to send out this newsletter every single trading day and update my portfolio every single trading day. Also hop into the Discord channel every trading day. You will get the Sunday stock watch as well. Okay, the exclusive Sunday stock watch. But anyway, just want to throw that out there, you guys. Again, the season's here. Not only a good time for the family, friends, everything else, but for the Waves fam as well. So I'm excited for what's to come. But again, you got to stay on your toes because these markets are volatile. Those links are down below. We'll shout that out after we read this. Let's do that. So again, keep in mind, this is on Thursday. You can go look at your charts if you forget. I'm sure it scarred you a little bit because it was rough. Okay, so red alert. The sky's falling while the floors are dropping out. It's time to panic. Absolutely kidding. Definitely don't panic. I know it can be difficult to keep a cool head when your portfolio is bleeding out, but these are the times when it's most critical to zoom out and keep your focus on the bigger picture. This is also why I'll be focusing on the medium longer term charts in part 2. As you all know, the markets are getting smoked today. Although the S&P and NASDAQ are staying afloat, some of our favorite sectors are falling pretty hard, i.e. crypto, EVs, etc. As we've been saying, volatility works both ways, especially in hyper-growth sectors. We've had a great month so far, and thankfully we're still in the green even after today, but today is definitely making a dent. But hey, like life, you need the bad days to appreciate the good ones, right? Stay bullish. It's a state of mind. That one came from the lady. She actually said that because it was raining super hard as I was writing this, and then it got sunny, and then she said that, and I was like, I'm throwing that in the newsletter because it's super appropriate for the markets as well. I still feel the fam has more Christmas gifts to accumulate. Waves fam, bag it up, get those Christmas gifts ready, extra special Christmas gifts. Every position that I'm holding at the moment is there for a reason, and a flash of red won't scare me away, especially after a streak of green. All that said, I want to let you guys know that I made 0 trades today. What we're seeing today is not rationale, it's not calculated, it is fear and panic. Some of the biggest regrets I've had in the past are selling into sell-offs like this. And as made evident by Friday's price action, by the bounces we saw across the market today, that was the right move. So again, you guys, when you see staggering pullbacks like we did on Thursday across the market, that is fear. You can smell the fear. You can cut the stanky smell of fear with a knife, right? And that is not the time when you want to take action. The day before that, we saw a pullback as well, and that's when I kind of capitalized on a few of the names that I chose to trade. But even when everything was falling, that's not when I'm going to buy either. I will be a fly on the wall. I will spectate, because when there is not any sense of rationale in the markets, when there's, again, fear, that is fear in the markets, when there's a lot of margin calls, when there's people getting long squeezed out of positions. That's not when I want to really make any trades, okay? And that's why I feel it's perfectly fine, and I found it best and most responsible to not take any action, even sometimes when you feel you need to take action, okay? So that is action in itself. Not taking action is sometimes the most responsible action you can take. The most level-headed thing I believe to do on days like these is nothing. Be a spectator, manage your emotions, watch the charts. Days like these will come again, and you can use them to your advantage if you choose to capitalize. So again, guys, if you understand hype, if you understand emotion, if you understand fear, and you believe in something for the long term, that allows you the opportunity to capitalize if you believe in the long term of something and it's seeing short-term pain, okay? So to close this pep talk out, the main thing is that you stay rational and keep your eyes on the prize. The night is still young. Let's keep this party going. Again, you guys, the season's just here. Thanksgiving is among us. The season's about to officially kick off. I mean, the markets have already been crazy already, so I'm liking the way we're kicking it off. Again, so far, so good. I trust more good times are ahead. And again, if you do want to know exactly how I'm trading, not only these names, but the EV sector, a few of the tech metaverse plays that I'm super excited about at the moment, first link down below, complete list of my entire personal portfolio, everything in my portfolio, calls, puts, stock positions, cryptocurrency positions, how I'm trading them every single day. Along with every portfolio update, I send out one of these bad boys. This is just the intro. Part 2 is including some charts and stuff. So I send out 2 newsletters every trading day, explaining my thoughts, rationalizing my trades, letting you guys know why I'm trading the way I'm trading. And again, next week could be pretty crazy. So if you guys want to stay tuned on what I'm doing, first link down below means a lot. When times are good, I have zero guilt shouting this out. It's $15 a month, $40 every 3 months. Go sign up. If not, what are you doing? So first link down below really does mean a lot, you guys. And again, I will be there for you every single day during that Thanksgiving little vacay. Also, I will be hopping into the Waves exclusive Discord channel as well, talking shop with you guys every day. Can't hop on more because I'll probably just be driving around a lot, so I'll have some time in the car to talk to you guys and stuff. So check this out. That link is going to be down below as well. You can use code YouTube25 for $25 off at checkout if you're interested. If not, no worries at all. Again, let's dive into the charts. Okay, so volatility, Bitcoin at this moment, Bitcoin miners today, good day. We closed out the week on a high note, which was nice. But as you guys know, the rest of the week pretty much looked like that across the entirety of the crypto sector. Okay, aside from Mana and Sandbox, shout out to the 2 MVPs. Those things are still ripping as I record this. Go refresh the Coinbase wallet after this. But anyway, Bitcoin looking strong in the long term. Short term, not looking too good, you guys. We are looking a little rough. What I like to see here right off the bat is the volume. So it's a good sign that we are seeing volume. Now, a lot of this is selling volume, and a lot of the volume we're seeing following this selling volume is buying volume. Okay, but this is still not much compared to what we saw back here. So you can tell there is still fear in the air. There is some individuals who made a lot of profits on Bitcoin, a lot of whales who hold large, significant amounts of Bitcoin, probably taking some profits, want to treat themselves and their families to a green Christmas, right? Like we all do. Okay, so just from a psychological perspective, you guys, a big reason not to see extra and heightened levels of volatility as we go into the holidays. People are going to want to cash out for their holiday travel expenses, for everything that they want to do, for the gifts they want to buy, for the gifts they want to get themselves. So that's just something that does expedite the markets. Also, next week, keep in mind, you guys, next week is a holiday. Thanksgiving, Thursday, the markets are closed. Friday is like a half day in the markets for Good Friday. And that's not Good Friday, for Black Friday. I think the day after Thanksgiving is a half day, right? I'll have to check back on that. Good Friday. Man. Okay. Anyway, you guys know what I'm saying, but there is less trading days in the equity markets come the holiday season. So that's why we are seeing heightened levels of volatility. Regardless, in the short term, again, we'll talk about this more in the Sunday Stock Watch. When it comes to the miners, they're heavily reliant on Bitcoin's price action. So where is Bitcoin heading in the short term, at least in my eyes? Okay, so Bitcoin, obviously, since the recent all-time high, the historic all-time high, I guess you would say, just under 69,000 that we saw on November 10th. Since that high, since that peak, we have been in a short-term downtrend. Sell-off here, creating the touch point here, a couple touch points here on the 4 hours, and we did, over the course of this past week, over the past 4 or 5 days, see this pretty staggering correction in Bitcoin. Okay, so let's bring up the price range real quick. Boom. to there. So 16%, so 16% correction just over the course, just from Tuesday to Friday, I believe. I think Monday was good, and then Tuesday everything just fell off a cliff. So again, a lot of volatility here, you guys. We are still in a very, very visible and very evident short-term downtrend from, lower highs and lower lows. That's consists of a downtrend. Here is the line of resistance. So best case scenario for Bitcoin in the short term, if you guys happen to be watching this on Saturday or Sunday, maybe, just maybe, we come up to test the line of resistance on this short-term downtrend. If we come up to test this, that could take us to like 62.5K on the 20th, or this is tomorrow, I guess. So maybe we start making our way up here. Maybe we come up here. What I think could happen from a bullish perspective that I'm looking at this is we come up here, go sideways for a little bit, maybe break out right here, and then execute an inverse head and shoulder. So shoulder, head, come down, create the other shoulder, and then as we play out this other shoulder, we would also break through that line of resistance on this current downtrend, and that would take us up to about 66,000 if we complete this inverse head and shoulders. That would be very bullish because we would break into this ascending channel right here. We would also obviously break the short-term line of resistance on the downtrend and break the series of lower highs and lower lows, which would be bullish, okay? So again, got to catch up on Sunday. That's going to be the most crucial one, talking about miners and crypto equities overall next week. But you guys, just from a technical perspective right here, this is very, very not bullish when we're looking at it, okay? So series of higher highs and higher lows. You could say this is a high. You could consider this a low. Consider this the next higher high. And we just yesterday, before this bounce up we did technically break to a lower low here, okay? You could say right here, this is a pretty dodgy candle. I don't even like counting these. Honestly, once we broke below about $58,000, that was my initial target upon where I would become very suspect of Bitcoin from a short to medium term time horizon. So we broke below 58K. That was sketch. We dumped all the way down to a low of about 55.6, 55.7 on the charts. That's even below this single candle wick down here. So we have technically broken the more medium term uptrend, okay? So we did set a lower low on the medium term uptrend. That said, if you zoom out, you could just say that this is a high right here, low, high, and then we're kind of setting in a low. Maybe we come worst case scenario. I'm not going to say worst case scenario. I wouldn't be surprised if we come down here to like 52 to maybe even like 55. Okay, this is where we bounced right here, the initial high prior to the initial high of this kind of parabolic rally that we saw from October to the first week of October, we'll say. So it's possible that we just base out here again, go sideways, maybe execute that short-term head and shoulders. But from a short-term perspective, we are still objectively in a downtrend, a series of lower highs and lower lows. There is a line of resistance here. So I have to say that unless we can break this line of resistance, unless we can break, I'll just say conservatively above $63,000, unless we can close a 4-hour candle above $63,000, then I have to remain bearish, from a short-term perspective. Now again, this is crypto. Weekends, they can either be turtles or jackrabbits, right? We can either go super slow, no volume, or we can absolutely just freaking off to the races and just go ripping and roaring, okay? So anything's possible. We'll have to catch up on Sunday, and there's not much else I can say there except see you on Sunday, okay? So move on to Riot Blockchain. Riot, again, you guys, all of these miners are going to act similarly to Bitcoin, just probably more volatilely because they are part of the equity markets. The miners are... The way the miners react is usually Bitcoin plus the equity markets, and then you got to sprinkle in like a 0.25x on the volatility or on the percentage gains, okay, if that makes sense. So it's a combination of the price action of Bitcoin, the price action of the Russell 2K, the NASDAQ, because those are more tech-focused sectors of the equity markets, and just heighten that a little bit. Just put a small multiple on that, okay? So that's how miners act. I'm sure you guys can tell by this point. But Riot specifically, you guys know Riot was looking good. Riot, unfortunately, is also in a series of lower highs and lower lows. Earlier this week, we did unfortunately break this nice uptrend, this nice megaphone ascending channel that we have been in since the beginning of the month. So broke below that is all hope lost for Riot, for the rest of the sector. Again, completely dependent on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin starts to make its way down to the mid to low 50s, that's no good. Well, Riot will probably come down and base out. Riot, in terms of downside, I think the downside is limited. You guys know in plays like Mara and bitfarms that have been absolutely ripping, I think the downside is there's a lot more, there's a lot more potential for downside. But when it comes to Riot, because Riot hasn't been performing that great, there is significantly more upside potential than downside for potential. That's a big reason, as you guys know, that Riot has been my go-to play over the past month. And again, Bitcoin, hopefully we rip back. If Bitcoin rips back, Riot will for sure rip back. Will probably come to ultimately test this high come the end of the month. If Bitcoin rips over the weekend, Riot wouldn't be surprised to see a $55 Riot. But in the short term, again, Bitcoin is in bearish trend, and therefore Riot is in bear trend. In terms of downside for Riot, I can't see us going below just the psychological even of $30, especially after Riot's strong earnings call last week. So again, bullish on Riot long term. That sentiment remains unchanged. I will hold a position in Riot for probably forever, if I'm being honest. Just hold the OG position that I bought way back in 2017, at the very least. But short term, again, Bitcoin bear trend, Riot bear trend. This will change, obviously, if Bitcoin breaks that 63K level that I mentioned. But in terms of downside, I will just say that the downside, in my opinion, for Riot is a lot more limited than the potential downside of Mara and Riot. So, or Mara and bitfarms. I'm sorry. So let's take a look at Miss Mara. Miss Mara. Looking at the 4-hour Stokes curling up. There's a lot of volume, still a crazy amount of volume here. Not as much volume compared to back here. I mean, that makes sense though. But Mara, again, you guys, just like Riot's all-time high is $80. Riot is currently less than half of its previous all-time high. Mara just set its new all-time high freaking like a week and a half ago. Okay, like Mara broke to $83. That's freaking insane, and like a $7+ billion market cap. But Mara, they are getting subpoenaed. There's a lot going on with Mara from a fundamental perspective that lead me to believe that Mara will see more downside, definitely more downside than the rest of the Bitcoin mining sector, because it's just been on absolute fire, okay? So obviously over the course of the past week, poor Mara from its all-time high saw, boom, price target, boop, boop, saw a staggering 43% correction. That's a pretty staggering correction for a stock with a at the time $7 billion market cap, current market cap of $5.6 billion. Mara did, however, come just yesterday, before this little bounce we saw on Friday, come to nicely test this trend line that was once a line of support. Boom, support, resistance, support, resistance right here, support, support. Just a previous trend line that is evidently in play based upon multiple touch points over the past. Did come, bounce pretty perfectly off this line of support, bouncing back up. But what I'm seeing here, you guys, I'm sure you know what I'm seeing and what I believe will play out. I do think we will result in being down here, if I'm being completely honest, at the very least right here. I'll just put it right there, conservatively. I do think Mara, with the fundamental headwinds, tailwinds, good, headwinds, bad, slows you down, right? Mara, especially after ripping so hard with the fundamental headwinds, and if granted Bitcoin doesn't perform the best, Mara, I think it's inevitable that Mara comes down to at least play out this head and shoulders right here. You could say this is actually the head and shoulders. So worst case scenario for Mara is going to be about 20, 27, 28 bucks, which in all honesty wouldn't surprise me all that much. But let's just use this base right here as a conservative shoulder. Boom, shoulder, big old head, fat head, all-time high head. And then we'll play out this shoulder right here. So I do think that Mara, in all honesty, will come down and correct because of those fundamental headwinds. Even if Bitcoin just goes sideways, maybe up and a little to the right, I think Mara will still come down. I think capital will flow into Riot after their impressive earnings call. And I do think that a $44 to $45 Mara is inevitable, and worst case scenario is we see like a $30 Mara. Okay, so that's Miss Mara. Started to rain on the parade. If you guys are a Mara fan, if you got freaking, dude, there were so many calls that just got obliterated in Mara this weekend. But again, you guys, just looking at Mara, we've been calling this for weeks now. Mara is ripping. Mara was ripping way too hard, and as I saw in the comments, a lot of people were like, Mara's better than Riot. Mara's better than Riot. Why? There's no rational response as to why Mara is better, so that gave a good insight into a lot of the investors that were involving themselves with Mara. Is like, if you can't explain why something's better than something else, and that thing is ripping, there's probably a lot of other people and investors similar to you involved with that stock, and that's what we call a hype play, you guys. And that's why I talk so much about psychology on this channel, and again, the psychology around hype cycles and momentum plays in hypergrowth markets, because it's pretty much all psychology, okay? It's all pattern spotting, it's all trend spotting, and that's the most important thing you need to keep in mind when playing stocks that are absolutely ripping. Okay, so let's close out with good old BITF. Bitfarms is, I mean, is looking great. We covered when we were talking about Riot's earnings and kind of that comparison chart with Mara, Riot, Bitfarms, Hive, etc. Bitfarms actually is up there in terms of like all of their metrics can definitely keep up with like Riot and Mara. Obviously not as much, or it would be directly reflected in the market cap of 1.4 billion at this point in time. But Bitfarms seeing a great volume. The fundamentals are pretty strong. I think more people are becoming aware of the competency of Bitfarms from an operational perspective, which is good. But again, Bitfarms, the same thing as the entirety of the sector, is going to be very dependent on the price action of Bitcoin. Okay, so Bitfarms technically is looking pretty damn good. We are initiating this second wave. We are in breakout mode, broke out of this nice ascending channel right here, following the breakout of this kind of bull flag two-wave, definitely two-wave pattern right here, not bull flag, but two-wave, parabolic move up, bubble pops, capitulation, see the next wave up. Right now, we are printing a bull flag out of the second, as we initiate the second wave. Technically, volumes there, 4-hour Stokes curling up. This is a very, very bullish play on the charts. And if Bitcoin was looking strong right now in terms of the short term, I mean, I'd be bagging up on Bitfarms big time. But again, Bitcoin short term, bear trend. Do I love Bitcoin? Yes. Do I love the Bitcoin mining sector? Yes. Do I talk about it all the time? Do I love talking about it? Yes. Bitcoin and bear trend? Yes. Bullish on Bitcoin miners in the short term, bearish? Yes. Okay. Anyway, again, you guys, that's pretty much it right here. I don't have much to say about Bitfarms aside from the chart looks freaking amazing, and at this point it's completely dependent on what Bitcoin does over the course of the weekend. So we will catch up on the Sunday stock watch, you guys. As I go through this, I feel that I have to, especially because I'm leaving, I want to shout it out again if I'm being completely honest, I have to make the Sunday stock watch this Sunday public. So I will make this public just to, again, give the disclaimer, give the PSA that I'll be gone one more time. And because I've just been mentioning it so damn much in this video, I will keep you guys posted with my thoughts on crypto. We can take a look at mono. We can take a look at all my favorite plays at the moment in that Sunday stock watch. But we usually, if you guys are watching still, we usually look through my like full portfolio and kind of dissect that. We won't do that this week. I won't show any of the portfolio. I won't talk about any specific calls or plays, but we will cover some stocks that are obviously parts of the portfolio and crucial to the portfolio at this point in time. So I'll see you guys on Sunday. Hope you guys have a great weekend. If you're still watching, I appreciate you. Please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel. If for some reason you are not freaking subscribed yet, get me to 50K. I want to get to 50K so bad. Straight up vanity metric, but you know, want to check it off the list. I'm a numbers guy. So yeah, appreciate you guys. If you're still watching, really means a lot. And once again, have a great weekend. I'll catch you guys on Sunday. Till then, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.